Hi, my name is Sarita.
And my name is Rena.
We are both past patients with Mexico Bariatric Center, and we are here to break the stigma of having weight loss surgery in Tijuana, Mexico. We will be covering all things bariatric to help you get the most out of this weight loss journey.
Hi, friends!
Hello.
Welcome to Can You Stomach This? You ready to stomach some jargon?
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready to give you a bunch of new information.
New info.
So, navigating the world of bariatric surgery can feel overwhelming, especially with all the acronyms and medical jargon thrown your way.
Yeah, for sure, right? Mm-hmm. So, in this episode, we're going to kind of walk through that maze of acronyms and slang, because, you encounter a lot of that in this journey.
Yep.
And understanding things like BMI, RNY, VSG, WLS. Right?
What do those mean?
What does all this stuff mean? Right? Oh my gosh, what is all this? So, knowing what all that means can make navigating this process easier, smoother, and a lot less overwhelming.
Definitely.
Were you overwhelmed by all the acronyms?
Yeah, I had no idea what they were.
Yeah.
So we're going to break down each acronym to help you decode the language of bariatrics and tackle your weight loss journey with clarity and confidence.
Crack the code.
Yep, crack the code.
Yep, so can you stomach all these acronyms?
I can now.
Yeah, me too, but I remember in the beginning,
No idea.
I had no idea.
No.
I didn't know what half this stuff meant. And I remember Googling and searching on the groups and trying to figure it all out, asking people. So in our 7 and 8 years into this process, I think we've kind of learned quite a few of these bariatric acronyms.
Yes, we do know that.
Yes. All right, so let's dive right in, jump right into it.
First one, these are the common weight loss acronyms.
Yeah.
And the first one, the best one, MBC, Mexico Bariatric Center.
Yes, and we use MBC. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many times a day I say MBC.
Right.
Yes, Mexico Bariatric Center. All right, and then we have WLS. I used that one a moment ago. So what is WLS?
Weight loss surgery.
Weight loss surgery, yeah, for sure. And then you have
BMI.
BMI. What is a BMI, Sarita?
Body mass index.
What is a body mass index?
Well, it kind of, you calculate your height and weight, and it gives you your BMI.
Your body mass.
Your body mass. So, you have normal, you have underweight, normal, overweight, obese, and so on.
And then your BMI is what puts you in those categories.
Right.
Based on your BMIs. Okay, and then we have EWL. You don't really see that acronym a whole lot, but we really should use it more because it stands for expected weight loss.
Right.
And so different surgeries have different expectancies. And when you go into your journey, you may think, I want to lose 100 pounds.
Right.
But the surgery that you're having might not allow for that.
No.
Right? The average statistic loss for that might be, for example, 60% of excess fat. What does all that mean? We'll touch on that a little bit here in a little while, but we actually have a whole nother podcast about that. So you can dive in and find that. But the next one is NSV. Yay for NSVs! I love me some NSVs. What is an NSV, Sarita?
Non-scale victory.
Non-scale victory. And we are actually working on a podcast for non-scale victories. And so, but what is a non-scale victory? Let's just say that real
It's something
fast.
that doesn't have to do with the scale. For me, it was I got to go horseback riding.
Ooh.
There's a weight limit on horseback riding.
250
literally,
pounds.
they weigh you before you get on the horse, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Anyway, I was under that, obviously. And so I was so excited because I hadn't done it in 20 years, and it was so exciting.
I love it. Some common NSVs are wearing a seatbelt
right.
On an airplane without an extension, or
Fitting into clothes, going into a
Yes.
regular store.
Not shopping in the plus size section. Right. That is a new one for me. It's really weird.
Getting a new license picture.
Oh yeah, do you know for the first time ever my license says I'm like 100 pounds
There you
more?
go.
It's more than 100 pounds and I actually am.
Oh no, yeah, I was thinking most people lie on their license. Like,
yeah, I did.
I weigh 150 pounds, but really you weigh like 250.
Yes.
Then, oh my God, it's real.
Yes, I lied. I lied by 100 pounds and then I surpassed that because I've lost over 200, right? So I literally was over 100 pounds than what it said, and then now I'm 100 pounds less than what it says.
Yeah, you need a new license soon.
I do need a new license. Literally don't look like me.
Yeah.
So we love non-scope victories in SVs. You do see that one a lot. Yes, a lot. And then LTG,
long-term goal.
we don't see that one a lot either, but it's out there. It is out there. And then one of my favorites is a surgiversary. So surgiversaries do exist. That's not an acronym, obviously, but that's just one of those terms.
Made-up word.
It's a made-up word that fits. What is a surgiversary? It's a surgery anniversary. Surgiversary.
It's the anniversary of your surgery. Like I'm at my 8th one, and you're at 7.
7.
Yeah. So yeah.
Surgiversary. Celebrate that thing, okay?
Yes.
We could do a whole new podcast on surgiversaries, right? We should do that.
Yeah. Ooh,
We should make that a thing. Yeah. How to celebrate a surgiversary. All right. And then Wonderland.
Welcome to Wonderland.
What is Wonderland?
When you get to 199 pounds, that is Wonderland. You could be at 199.9, you're still in Wonderland.
It doesn't matter.
You're under 200.
The scale says 1. Wonderland.
Right.
So Wonderland is not something I ever in my life fathomed, right? And I'm not there. I mean, I'm just transparency. There. I'm not there. But y'all, it's like this close.
It's within reaching.
I might actually make it. If I don't, hey, I'm okay.
I already know you'll make it.
Look, I've lost over 200. I've lost what, 238 at this point. So if I never made it, like, I don't care. But she thinks I'm gonna make it, and she's the wise one around here. So I'm gonna.
Your activity level will go up, and your weight will go down.
I'm gonna take her advice, and we'll see. When that happens, we'll do a whole surgiversary party. I mean, a Wonderland party.
Wonderland. Oh yeah, Wonderland party.
Oh, let's do a Wonderland party. Okay, anyway, sorry, off track. All right, so some commonly seen together acronyms. Like in a social media post, Facebook post, you might see like HW, SW, CW, GW, LW. So what does all that mean? So you'll be like HW 459 pounds, and it might be like SW 420, or it might say current W, and it's current. So it means highest weight or heaviest weight. The SW, what is that, Sarita?
Starting weight or surgery weight.
Yeah, which is kind of confusing because a lot of people's highest is often what they would call their start is, but
maybe they're on an 8-week pre-op, right?
Yeah.
So I mean that is legit. And then, maybe they lost 30 pounds on pre-op, so that would be their starting weight.
Yeah. And then CW stands for current weight, like what you are right now. GW is
goal weight.
Goal weight. I don't have a goal weight. Did you have a goal weight?
I had a goal weight of 168 and I got down to 159. So I went below my goal weight.
Yeah.
And then I gained back 10 pounds because I looked really bad.
Okay.
But I'm tall. I'm 5'9". So.
Well, I've surpassed all goals I ever even thought I could make. So, anyway, and then I guess you could say my next goal now is 199.
There you go.
I mean, it's her goal for me. We'll see. And then LW is lowest weight. Right. So highest weight, starting weight, or surgery weight. Current weight, goal weight, low weight. You often see those things together.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't usually see, you don't see lowest weight that much because, most people don't go under, but some do.
Yeah, like you. So you would have said like LW 158.
159.
Yeah, that. And then CW 168 or whatever. Yeah. All right. So some surgery acronyms. What are all these surgery acronyms?
There's a lot of them.
There are a lot of them. So we have the main one.
She's the best at this. She was a patient coordinator, so like she knows all of these like much better than I do.
I've had many conversations with surgery
in
acronyms.
detail.
Yeah, and then also like on the admin side, when we are like writing surgeries, we use acronyms a lot to write descriptions. So VSG, that's like the most common. That is your vertical sleeve gastrectomy.
I had that.
Yes, I had that as well originally. And then, but there's different types of VSG, right? So there's different types of gastric sleeve. You have the mini gastric sleeve or mini VSG. There's not an acronym for that. If we want to make one up, I guess you could call it MVSG, but it would just be mini VSG. We just call it mini VSG. And then other types of VSG, there's the ESG, which is endoscopic gastric sleeve. And then there's what's called SILS, S-I-L-S. That is single incision laparoscopic sleeve. So those are kind of like the main
the sleeve category.
The sleeve category acronyms. Moving on from VSG acronyms, you have your bypass acronyms. And there's two different ones two main ones. You have RNY. What does RNY stand for, Sarita?
Roux-en-Y.
And what is Roux-en-Y?
Because it's shaped like a Y.
Yeah, it's French.
It's French.
Roux-en-Y is French for routed in the shape of a Y. So Roux-en-Y. And if you go on our website, look up R and Y, you'll literally see your intestines are like shaped like a Y after surgery. So Roux-en-Y, that is like one of the most common bypass ones. And then we have MBP. MBP stands for mini bypass or mini gastric bypass. But the MBP, mini gastric bypass. And then sometimes, very rarely, but it is out there, so I do want to make you aware that it's called one anastomosis gastric bypass or OAGB. You may also see it as single anastomosis bypass. I have not seen an acronym for that, but somebody out there probably made one. Right? And then we have the duodenal switch acronyms, which is DS, duodenal.
People say, I say duodenal, she says duodenal.
And it depends on where you're from, how you say it, because I've heard medical professionals say it both ways. Like literally. All within
or DS, just DS.
Yeah, and we just shorten it DS because then we don't care where you're from. Everybody says DS. So you have the DS acronym. So there's two types of DS. You have DS-BPD, which stands for biliopancreatic diversion. And then you have the SADIES, DS-SADIES. That's the acronym. The long word is single anastomosis duodenal ileal bypass with sleeve gastrectomy. But we just call it DS-SADIES. S-A-D-I-S. SADIES.
Yeah, she knows them better than me.
I had that surgery.
She had that surgery.
Yeah, and I've literally never said the whole name ever. Like I've just said DS-SADIES. Yeah. So then we have TOR. TOR is a revision. It's T-O-R, little e. It stands for trans-oral outlet reduction. It's not a super common revision, but it is a revision to an R&Y where literally trans-oral outlet reduction, it kind of just makes the opening, like where the stomach and esophagus meet, it kind of makes it smaller. It's not a super common procedure. It doesn't really help with additional weight loss, but there's reasons one might need it. You can find more info about it on the website. But those are some common surgery acronyms. And now I'm going to stop talking because we're going to move on to Sarita's specialty. Sarita's specialty is social media acronyms. So tell us all about social media acronyms, Sarita.
Some of the ones we have for social media, like Face-to-Face Friday, F2F. So Face-to-Face Friday would be like you would show a before picture and an after picture of your face. Face Friday. Motivation Monday. So like you could, Motivation Monday. You could post a picture of, something that, you did that motivated you. Like maybe you ran a 5K.
Ooh.
Or, you
Oh,
know.
we're supposed to do that later this year.
I know. We'll be on the MM. Yeah, we're supposed to do a 5K. But anything that motivates you, you know. Transformation Tuesday. So that's kind of like, that would be like a before and after, like a full body, I would think, on Tuesday.
Anything transforming.
Right.
Transforming. You can do your face.
You could do your face.
Anything.
So the most popular one for me is PM, private message. So a lot of times, I say it a lot. A lot of times when someone will post something, I'll be like, hey, I'm going to PM you. And that means that I'm sending you a message to Messenger and it's in your inbox. And if we're not friends, you have to check your other folder. And so, you know, then I always PM people because they might need some extra help. They might have some extra questions. And so I can kind of tell who needs that. And I'll just reach out to them like, hey, I'm going to PM you.
That private conversation.
Private conversation, yeah.
Private message.
So, a lot of people don't know what PM is, but that's what it is.
Now you know. If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, now you know.
Now you know.
Cosmetic acronyms. So we do have Mexico Cosmetic Center, which is our sister company, and that is MCC. So if you see MCC, that's what that stands for. And a few of the procedures that most people are, you know, familiar with: MMO, Mommy Makeover, TT, Tummy Tuck, and BBL, Brazilian Butt Lift.
You know, I heard from an inside source that it's not such a great idea to get a mommy makeover and a BBL, an MMO and a BBL at the same time.
No.
You know why?
You can't sit down.
You can't sit or lay on your butt.
What you gonna do?
You can't lay on your stomach either. So I've heard that is like quite miserable. But I mean, you can do it, but maybe it's just not the best.
Think about that recovery. Nope.
Ugh. That sounds heavy to me.
Yeah.
Right? So we love MCC, Mexico Cosmetic Center. Plug here. If you need cosmetic procedures, check them out. For real. And now we're going to talk about another one of Sarita's specialties.
Food-related acronyms.
Food-related acronyms. Does this mean like EAT, like I want to eat that?
Maybe.
I'm so corny.
Our first one is, now I don't see this one very often.
We don't.
I don't see it in our group at all, but I'm going to start using it. So, nutritionist, nut, N-U-T.
I don't think our nutritionist.
I feel like you won't like that. I know, but they use it in other groups, so.
We do see it in other groups.
Yeah, so if you see it in other groups, when they say nut, they're talking about the nutritionist. We usually just tag our nutritionist, you know, and you'll see it.
I'm going to be like, hey, nut.
I know, hey, nut.
I don't know that our nutritionist is going to like being called a nut.
Do not call me a nut. SF, sugar-free. Okay,
Ooh,
so
let's talk about that.
Let's talk about sugar-free. SF. So you can have sugar-free Jell-O and sugar-free popsicles, right?
Yes.
Okay, so no sugar added is not the same thing for sugar-free. So just remember that. There's a lot of popsicles out there that say no sugar added, and patients think it's sugar-free, but it's not.
And juice.
And juice.
I want to plug juice here because that's probably one of the most common confusions with the SF, sugar-free, or the no sugar added.
Or low sugar.
Yeah, well, the thing
no
is,
sugar,
juice is made out of, most juice, sorry, some juice is not, but most juice is made out of fruit. Fruit naturally contains sugar.
Right.
So when you see no sugar added, that means there was no sugar added to the natural sugars already in the fruit that made the juice.
So there's still sugar.
But there is still sugar. So you guys keep that in mind when you're looking at your...
And if you do have low sugar apple juice on pre-op or post-op, 60% water, 40% juice. You definitely have to dilute it.
Yeah, because then you break that sugar down a little more.
Right. Yeah.
You still got some Flavor Flav in that plain old Jane water.
You do.
Or just go with like a citrus, right? Like lemon or lime water is like
lemon water is good for post-op.
Yeah,
like nausea too. I'm sure most people know this one. Decaffeinated.
Yeah, you can't have caffeine pre-op, but a lot of people are like, "Oh, I need my coffee." Right. Listen, I just don't buy that it tastes different. I know that some of you like super coffee fanatics, me, think that there's a flavor difference in decaf and regular coffee, but I don't see it.
I'm not really sure about the flavor difference, but there's definitely a feeling.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I drink espresso. But I waited 3 months before I had coffee, and the first time I had it, I had dumping syndrome. So I would not recommend drinking coffee too early. Like, wait at least 3 months, because,
Well, and we're also not supposed to drink caffeine, and caffeine can be a natural diuretic, which can make you dehydrated.
It causes acid reflux.
And you're supposed to be able to get in all your water consistently every day before you start drinking it, drinking that caffeine.
Yeah, and it does cause acid reflux in the beginning too.
To the decaf.
So. Yeah.
And this one blows my mind, right? Sarita, the next one on our list, it really blows my mind, but believe it or not, people don't know, and that's okay. But it just, I guess because we all come from different places in life, but OZ. What is OZ?
Ounce.
An ounce.
An ounce. Mm-hmm.
What is an ounce?
The fluid ounce.
Or a weight ounce.
A weight ounce.
Either way, right? All right, so ounce, OZ. And then, this is one that you don't see a lot, but you really should look into if you don't know a lot about it. And it's BMR. What is a BMR, Sarita?
Basal metabolic rate. Your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, is the number of calories your body needs to accomplish the most basic life-sustaining functions. So, like on my Renfo scale, it'll tell me my BMR, like every day. So,
and we're all different.
We're all different.
Yeah.
We don't all have the
we all
same
metabolize
BMR.
Different, so we do all need different MBRs.
Right.
Or different calories.
Right.
Because we all have different MBRs.
To sustain yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then macros. Sarita, what is a macro?
Oh, this is one I use all the time. So macros is short for macronutrients. And macronutrients are a type of food like fat, protein, carbs, fiber, sugar. So at the 30 days and beyond mark for post-ops, we have macronutrients for you to follow. And, it's a set amount of calories, fat, protein, carbs, fiber, sugar, and it's like a percentage. So
like you want to get in a certain amount or not go over a certain amount, like have a minimum of this, but don't go over that.
Right.
And all that's laid out in the diet.
It's all laid out. It's very clear.
Yes.
If you have any issues.
And this is one you don't see a lot either.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of TVP. And it's texturized vegetable protein, which is a meat substitute from a plant-based protein source like soy.
Or chickpea, we learned. Chickpea is a...
Like, I used to get the TVP, like, in the frozen section, like the meat crumbles, and I would add it to, like, spaghetti sauce or something, and you couldn't tell. It was still good for you.
Well, I used to buy, like, TVP for a family member who was vegetarian. I didn't even realize it was called TVP.
Me either.
But, hey, you learn something new every day, so, yeah. That kind of concludes our nutritional acronyms. Look, there are a lot of them. We just kind of wanted to throw some out there. If you can think of other ones, drop them in the comments. Share that knowledge with everybody watching, listening, learning too. Because we try to share our knowledge. Feel free to share yours.
Right.
And so we'll kind of move on to some medical jargon acronyms.
The number one... the number one we talk about is BM, a bowel movement.
Yes, because BMs can change post-surgery.
Right.
Sarita gets the question
Every day.
How long before I have a BM? All the time.
Every day.
Yeah. And
I literally just answered a question before we started recording on Facebook.
Yeah.
The same question.
Every day.
So you most likely won't have a BM, a bowel movement, until like phase 3, soft solids, because you've been on clear liquids and thick liquids. So I always tell the patients, liquid in, liquid out. Bowel movement, phase 3.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's okay. It's normal.
It is normal. Yeah. All right. So CPAP. Some people already know what a CPAP is, but did you know what it stands for?
No.
It stands for continuous positive airway pressure. CPAP. Yeah. Moving on in our list. What do we got next, Sarita?
EKG.
What's an EKG?
Electrocardiography, and that's something you'll have in pre-op. You will have an EKG done.
Yes. And GERD. GERD is such a weird word to me. It's not a word, it's an acronym. It's for gastroesophageal reflux. Yeah, whatever. Reflux disease. Esophageal. Whatever. Reflux disease. Tomato.
Right.
Look.
Potato.
Yeah.
Wow.
Flower.
Oh my God, whatever. I'm from California. She's from Georgia.
I am from Georgia. Can you tell?
They say things differently here.
So moving on, GI is gastrointestinal. Do we say that the same?
We do.
Okay. And then what's next on our list, Sarita?
PCP. We have primary care physician.
You should follow up with your PCP post-surgery. Yep, maintain, checking those labs every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
The first year, not forever.
Right.
But I do recommend doing your labs annually anyway.
Yeah, I do. I still do mine annually, like
I do
once
mine,
a year.
Twice a year.
Yeah, I do once a year.
Yep. All right, and then PCOS. We actually have a support group for PCOS. PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. I actually was diagnosed with PCOS, which is weird because I have never had an issue with ovaries ever, literally. I have many children to prove that I do not have that issue.
Yeah, she does.
So, however, I do have the metabolic issues that come with PCOS. Kind of go through this real quickly. PCOS affects people, they may not be able to have children. It makes it really hard to lose weight with PCOS. So join that support group on Facebook that we have for PCOS. And surgery does help. A lot of our PCOS patients become pregnant.
Yes, they do. It's so exciting.
And some, it's a big surprise.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of them have surgery just to be able to have children, and you know, it's amazing to see those stories. It really is.
We've seen quite a few where they were not on birth control because they had PCOS all those years. Yeah. They thought they could never have children, and then they have surgery. We do recommend waiting 2 years, but they kind of popped up pregnant unexpectedly because very fertile. Yeah, they started losing weight, and it happened for them. An IV, I think a lot of people know what IV means. What is IV, Sarita?
Intravenous fluids.
It is. An IV is what you get in your arm, your hand, you know,
when you
pump that fluid when you have surgery. And then we have NSAIDs. I want to kind of camp out NSAIDs for just a second. So what is an NSAID, Sarita?
Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication such as aspirin, ibuprofen, Motrin, Advil, Aleve, Nuprin, all those.
Yeah. Did you say Excedrin?
I did. Oh, well, okay.
Did you say Excedrin?
No, I didn't say Excedrin, but Excedrin does fall into that category.
Yeah, sure does. And so why do we not want to take NSAIDs after surgery, Sarita?
So NSAIDs can actually cause an ulcer, and it can turn into a bleeding ulcer, and that can become very serious. Yeah, so NSAIDs actually, if you read the bottle, it says that you should, like, prolonged use could cause issues. And so the way that works is the medication, as it's dissolving in your stomach, it can kind of eat the stomach lining. Yeah, don't want that.
I've seen people take NSAIDs like every day for weeks on end for chronic pain and have like blood in their stool because the NSAIDs did that to them. Right. And so You don't want to take them post-surgery because if it does that to a normal size stomach,
Imagine.
and then you shrink your stomach down teeny tiny, you increase your risk.
Yes.
Does that mean you can never, ever, ever take an NSAID? No. You're not going to die if you take an NSAID, but you should probably not take them for like at least about 3 months. Again, reach out to your doctor.
Yes,
we're not doctors.
We're not doctors.
So if you need an NSAID, reach out to your doctor, discuss it with them. But you should probably prolong it as long as you can. Yes. And then I've had to take them, for chronic, like I hurt my back.
I've taken them too, but I didn't have any issues.
Yeah, you just should avoid them as much as possible.
I talked to my doctor about it too.
Yeah, you should avoid them as much as possible, but you're not going to die if you take one. And then ketorolaco, we actually give that in Mexico. It's sublingual NSAID, and it is safer. So if you're somebody who knows you need like an ibuprofen every once in a while, grab some extra ketorolaco when you're in Mexico, because I did, and you can't take that every day, but
you can take it for 5 days.
Yeah, like I hurt my back, I can take a ketorolaco, and it gets me over.
You can't get it in the United States.
No, you can't. Not even prescription. Not sublingual.
Sublingual.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll move on. We have some little fun other.
Yes, we have TMI. Too much information.
TMI. There is a lot of TMI.
Sometimes
in
people
this journey.
will post on Facebook, I know this is TMI, but it's okay. TMI, we're all here to support each other. So
yeah, especially when it comes to BMs.
Do your TMI BMs.
We get a lot of TMI when it comes to BMs, but that's okay. That's what we're here for.
Right.
Yes, so TY. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then YW in response to TY is...
You're welcome.
Yeah. And then sometimes, because we want to congratulate each other, what might we see on a congratulatory post? Jeez, I can't talk.
Way to go. Oh, WTG. But I don't see that very often.
I don't see it as much as I used to, right? Like, I don't see it as much as I used to. I think we use more slang for congratulations now than that.
I'd be like, go you.
Yeah, like, I'm always like, whoop, whoop. I don't always whoop, but when I do, there it is.
Yeah.
So corny. All right, so what is the next on our list?
So FYI, for your information.
FYI. Speaking of FYI, that's a wrap for this podcast. Anyway, no, seriously. We hope that you've enjoyed breaking down these acronyms with us, and that it's helped simplify this journey for you.
Whether you're just starting out or already on your path to weight loss, understanding these terms can make the process a whole lot clearer. And if you ever have any questions, like on Facebook, just ask. Nobody's gonna say anything, and it's okay to ask. Ask lots of questions.
Yeah, ask. Always
Mm-hmm.
ask. All right, so just remember, you don't have to navigate this journey alone. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep moving forward with confidence.
Yep. And we thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
And as always, we hope you can stomach all the new knowledge.
You think you can stomach this now?
I think so. I think I learned a couple new things.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you always have to keep learning, right? Don't we always say that?
Yeah, we always have to learn.
All right, so that's it. Bye, friends.
Bye.
If you have any questions or want to share your bariatric weight loss journey, you can call or text us at 480-999-4826 or send an email to podcast@mexicobariatriccenter.com. You can also follow Mexico Bariatric Center on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Keep in mind, these are the opinions of the host. The views represented do not reflect or define the values of Mexico Bariatric Center. This podcast is sponsored by Emerge Bariatrics and Mexico Bariatric Center. Please visit mexicobariatriccenter.com for more information.